Hey, Paul Watson here, coming to you from my living room once again amid all of the corona, stay in shelter, craziness, virus. But we have serious training to get to. I know I do, I'm still training, and I sincerely hope you are too. Keep your mind sane and of course your body strong. All right, so today being Power Pack Friday, we've got a pretty big workout coming up. So I wrote it down on the whiteboard. I think I'm just gonna bring the camera just so you can see it a little bit as I get ready to describe it all for you. You can kind of have a little bit of a preview as well here. So what we're gonna do is some handstands. I'll show you how to do those. Push-up, plank options, we'll go through them, an ab circuit, shoulder presses or lateral raises, a badass superset of push-ups, side planks, and including decline versions of push-ups or one-arm push-ups or half one-arm push-ups. The horrible thing, some body weight skull crushers are going to be great for you to do, miscellaneous tricep work, and to finish things off, some 8-count bodybuilders. All right, so let me put my camera back. I want that wall over there because that's one of the first places I'm going to begin. Okay, so you can look in the description of the video for the full exact details of this workout. Okay, but I am going to demonstrate and mention a few things about each and every one of these items. Okay, so the first one is that handstand. Okay, you can do your handstands on a wall. That's how I do them. I'm not nearly as coordinated enough to do it without a wall. If you can, that's awesome. But you'll want to free up wall here, like I've got. There's two versions of a handstand you can do. The first one is going to be walking your feet up that wall. So you'll face away from the wall, place your hands on the ground, and then simply walk those feet up and get your hands close to the wall. And that's going to be a plank version of that. Okay, the other option is going to be a little bit harder, and that's going to be the flip. I don't suggest you doing the flip next to something really expensive like a nice big screen TV, although I'm going to give it a shot. But you do want to make sure you have some free space because especially coming down from that flip sometimes looks a little ugly. Okay, but to do the flip, I'm going to give it a shot right here. You face the wall and then you're going to flip and throw your feet up. Okay, kind of in a sprinter's lunge position, and then you flip. And then you hold that plank right there. We don't do these too much in the gym just because of class size, but they are a great way to strengthen those shoulders and of course your mid-back because you have to hold that there. Okay, so that is your handstand option to start off with. If you are a beginner, you can just go right to number 2, which would be the push-ups. So we're going to discuss push-ups right now. Okay, so the push-up, we're starting with a push-up plank. Push-up plank is one of my favorite things to do. It is extremely important to keep in mind that the plank part is actually more beneficial than the actual push-up. So we do 1 or more push-ups every 10 seconds. And so the body needs to stay in a straight line. If you can't do the push-ups with your toes on the ground, do not put your knees on the ground. Just move to a coffee table or a couple of chairs or even a couch and you execute the push-up the same way as a traditional push-up. So basically what I'm saying is we never do push-ups with your knees on the ground. It's not a smart training option. It's such a weak, basically version of the push-up that takes all of your core out. So if you have to do push-ups with your feet, with your hands on a coffee table or chair or couch, that's so much more beneficial than doing push-ups on your knees. Okay, so I wanted to get that little disclaimer out of the way. So the push-up, body down, all the way to the floor, chest all the way to the floor, and then you wait 10 seconds and do another rep. So I am gonna zoom in here one more time for you on these push-up plank options, because I did want to show you that there are a few things that I want you to consider doing. And so the first option there is the 7x1. Okay, so this is a 60-second push-up plank, 7 times 1. So that means 1 push-up every 10 seconds. It's going to be 60 seconds. The 10 times 1 is 90 seconds long. And so that's still 1 every 10. Option C is a little bit harder. You go up every single 10 seconds. You go up a push-up. Start with 1, then you go to 2, 3, you're cruising right along. 4 and 5 start to get hard, and then you go up to 7 would be 60 seconds, and if you go all the way to 10, you're looking at 90 seconds. The next version up, or the next version down would be a little bit harder. Option D is the reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is definitely going to challenge you, because right off the bat, you're basically doing about 27 push-ups with essentially no rest at all. And then option E is probably, just one I just came up with, probably the hardest one we do as far as push-up planks. And that's basically just doing 10 sets, 5 sets of 10 first, get you those 50 push-ups straight, and then you go to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want, you can see how many you can go all the way on those 10s to see how far you really can get, but the 5 on the 10, and then the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is still a really good high standard never. So you can keep that in mind. All right, so let me just zoom back out and then continue on with this explanation here on this workout. All right, so coming up next is going to be an ab circuit. The ab circuit, you'll notice, is listed with a couple of numbers. It said 40/20 and 45/15. So the first number, whenever you see this combination, means the amount of time of exercise. After the slash is the amount of time of rest. So in this case, 40/20 means 40 seconds of exercise and then 20 seconds rest, and then you go to the next thing. 45/15 obviously is harder, and then for truly advanced athletes, you'd be looking at, you know, maybe 50/10. Okay, so the next one is going to be a shoulder press or lateral raise. I'm actually going to demonstrate the lateral raise first, because the shoulder press you are going to need really probably some weights or a sandbag. And some people just don't have that in their home. So you may have a couple of backpacks. In this case here, I've got some camelbacks. Okay, so these camel packs are great for running. They store water. In this case here, I just got them loaded up with books. Okay, so the lateral raise, you want to have your hands back and just keep those arms back as you raise. Those arms straight out to the side. Don't bring those arms forward, and please don't bend those elbows like 90% of the guys in the gym doing at GB3 and some other places. Instead, you want to keep those arms perfectly straight and back, okay? And you'll be doing yourself a much better exercise. Okay, a shoulder press, if you've got the dumbbells, are just going to go up and down, or a sandbag would work great. Okay, so I've got my heavy sandbag here. I just grab it by those straps, bring it up, and then exhale. As I come up, come down slow and controlled. Don't let it touch my chest. Come down slow and controlled. Exhale on the way up. All right, so those are your shoulder presses. Okay, moving on. We've got a badass superset here. Okay, so this is definitely going to get into the meat of your pushing strength training workout. So I've got this down as ×5. So we don't have a whole lot of equipment perhaps at your house in your living room, so that's why I went with ×5. So we're going to repeat this superset 5 times, totally doable. Okay, so the first exercise is a push-up. Push-up, so I'll just go over what sounds like a no-brainer, but to once again, really just highlight the good form that we want to make sure we're keeping. I'll demonstrate here again for you. Okay, so you keep that body in that straight line, hands pretty much under your shoulders. Inhale on the way down, get your chest all the way down, exhale, and lock out those arms. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. So you go down. Once you hit muscular failure, as might be the case at some point during 45 seconds, don't give up and don't put your knee on the ground. Instead, what you can do is just jackknife your hips into the air. And that will give you a break on your pecs of like maybe 5 seconds. And then you get that body straight again, and then do 1 or 2 push-ups at a time until the total prescribed amount of time is up. So beginners, we say, let's just say good quality, all-around fitness. I wouldn't say beginners because even 30-15 is going to be hard. 45-15 is definitely going to be on the more advanced level. But 30-15 for 30 seconds of exercise, 15 seconds rest on push-ups, and then side planks left and right. And then you repeat it 5 times. Now, in addition to regular push-ups, I'm leaving this up to you for your options. You can do a decline push-up where you have your feet on a chair, a coffee table, or if you got a plyo box, but that would be your decline push-up. Keep your head up, chest, bring your shoulder blades down into that ground. And then we've got the one-arm push-up, or kind of like a big one that I try to emphasize at the gym, is the half a one-arm push-up. So the way we do that half a one-arm push-up is you have one hand underneath your chest and the other hand pretty much out of the picture, really not contributing too much, and you do that push-up and then you switch. So how that might look, have your feet wide, that one hand directly under your chest, the other hand is out of the picture, not really doing too much. You come down, up, switch hands, down and up. Okay, so those are going to be your options there. And then we get to the horrible thing. Okay, one of my favorite parts of the day, so I think it is yours too. So the way we do that, of course, if you've got dumbbells, you're going to be totally squared away. If you don't have dumbbells, that's where we got to start using some creativity. So there's a couple of options. Sandbag is the obvious one, but good old-fashioned backpack will also work too. So just load up that heavier or that bigger backpack. Not quite that camel pack. That's going to be a little small, but a good size, tough backpack can handle a lot of books, and you can get this thing pretty heavy. And then the sandbag is the other option too. So the horrible thing, you do 10 reps, controlled and slow, and then at the end of those 10 reps, you get a 30-second rest, as I like to call it. I'm kind of smiling because this is with a little bit of sarcasm here in terms of the word rest. So it's a pretty tough exercise. You get those 10 reps, at the 10th rep, like I said, you call it a rest if you want, but you're gonna hold that weight over your head for 30 seconds. Once those 30 seconds are up, you bring that weight down and you put it right in front of your collarbone, but you don't let it touch your shoulders or collarbone, and you leave it there for 30. And then finally you finish off with 10 extra reps. Now on your first set of 10 reps during this exercise, I don't want you using your legs to bounce. It's called a push press. It is a legitimate exercise, but I don't want you using your legs in any way on those first 10. You get through the rests or the holds at the top for 30, at the bottom for 30, and then as I said, you've got those final 10 you got to do. And at that point there, that's where you can use those legs, because your shoulders are going to be really screaming, but you use those legs to power through if you need it, as opposed to dropping the weight and giving up. So this is definitely a good mental test as well for you to give yourself as an opportunity. Okay, so that's the horrible thing. Okay, the body weight skull crusher. I did want to bring in a coffee table, but I'm just going to show you here on my couch here. So let me just move back my camera. I think I'll bring a chair instead. Yeah, because that wasn't quite what I was looking for in terms of the angle. So a chair will work as well. And while I'm here, I'll actually also bring another chair and just demonstrate that push-up where you might need to do, if you don't have the strength to do push-ups, with your feet on the ground in a traditional style. So just taking a moment here to talk about the beginning of that workout. If you have to do push-ups on an incline, that is an easier form of traditional push-ups. But nevertheless, it is still engaging your core. And that's the real reason why I want you to do that, as opposed to doing push-ups on your knees. So that push-up on an incline is just like that. Notice that core stays down. Okay, so now I'm going to just use one chair and we're going to talk about this body weight skull crusher. Skull crushers we do at the gym a lot of times with those barbells, but again, you may not be having access to a whole lot of weights in your living room. So the chair, coffee table, couch, whatever you want to use is going to be really effective. I'm pretty sure it's going to be harder than you think. So get those hands on the edge, bring your feet back. I think I'm going to move this all the way to my couch. There we go. Get your feet back and bring your hips down. Okay, and then you just keep those elbows in and drop your forehead down to whatever surface you have. Okay, and so that is going to be your body weight slow crusher. Okay, the last two items on the board here, miscellaneous tricep work and 8 counts. So that miscellaneous tricep work could look like all kinds of different ways. If you literally have like next to nothing in your house as far as fancy equipment, you can grab that backpack, camel pack, and you can do a one-arm tricep pullover. Of course, that was like 5 pounds. That just hurt my brain thinking about doing it that late. This here is 15. Okay, one arm. If you've got something heavier, you know, if you want to use 2 arms, you can do something heavier like that heavy backpack, a sandbag. If you've got maybe just one weight, you can do that one-arm tricep pullover. And of course, if you've got something heavy, you can use 2 arms. The other option is going to be a tricep kickback. I see a lot of this in like traditional videos. We don't do it too much at the gym in a class just because of like spacing and timing, but it's not a bad exercise. It's also complicated, so I am going to take a moment here to actually explain this exercise. So the tricep kickback, you get in a position similar as you would for that bent over one-arm row. So your feet are wide, you place that hand on that knee that's in front, and you get your torso parallel to the ground as well as that upper arm, and then you kick that weight back. But the most common thing I see is this weight coming here and you're just swinging along. That's really not doing a whole lot. So keep that discipline with that arm not moving, and then kick that back. And only come down to right there. Okay, so miscellaneous tricep work. And then last, we got to do a little bit of full body cardio. So the full body cardio, burpees. Everyone hates burpees. I'm not a big fan of them. You can do a traditional Spartan burpee, get your whole body on the ground. Okay, you can do a fast burpee where you're just going down, kicking your feet back and jumping. It's a little bit more cardio. But I would say let's go with 8-count bodybuilders. So the way we do an 8-count bodybuilder, moving that out of the way, is similar to a burpee to start off with, bring your body down to the ground, place your hands on the floor, kick your feet back, and then you do a push-up without letting your legs touch that floor. So your chest goes down, but you're not doing this. I always hate that. That's such a weak exercise. So instead, keep that body suspended, but down, and then up, feet apart, back together, and stand up. So an 8 count is down, back, all the way, back up, apart, back in, and stand. Okay, so 8 count bodybuilders or burpee. Okay, and so I've got 2 options for you to finish things off with. We've got 5 by 40-20. So 5 rounds, 40 seconds of exercise, 20 seconds rest. Basically 5 minutes straight of burpees or 8 counts. Okay, with that 20-second rest every time. A little bit more advanced option is going to be 10 intervals of 45-15. So 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds rest, all the way through 10. Okay, that'd be a great way to finish off today's workout. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. Stay strong, stay healthy, God bless, and look forward to seeing you soon.